head, slowing down and taking no time. I gotta keep it rolling. Those windshield.
What's up, everybody? It's the Roundtable, and it's Cheyenne and I. Hi, Cheyenne.
It's a line. It's not even round.
It's not even a triangle. Nothing's going on here. It's like two people.
Yeah.
It's sit across from each other table. Hi, Cheyenne.
Hi.
I'm sure Kim will be here, you guys. So Michelle was out last. Well, no, she was with us last week,
Yes.
but she had hurt herself. Her friend got served with divorce papers today, so they're drinking.
Oh no.
And Tom's wife last week broke her ankle, and then his buddy found out he has cancer that he was visiting, and he sent me a picture of his thermometer that was 103.1.
Oh my goodness.
Everything's going up. This year's awesome so far. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Don't worry. You didn't
can't
miss
hear
anything.
you. No, can't hear you. Kim's pouty face was cute. She's like,
So, hey, Ivanaska. Hey, Traveler. Hey, Gigan.
Yes.
I can hear you. Hey, Christopher Taylor. Okay. And hey, Bubba Sue.
It keeps kicking off. Hi, it keeps kicking my microphone off every time like I enter into StreamYard. It's weird.
oh, that's odd.
I know.
You know,
Hi, everyone.
we probably shouldn't do the negative ad for StreamYard, but they deserve it. Look, after all this money, like, then what? Now the services don't work. Like, now volume doesn't work. Kim's got to get her headset going. She got to come in twice.
And you can't reach anyone in customer service anymore.
Yeah. When did you guys become all the gig apps? Come on, StreamYard. You know, we pay for this version here for a few more months anyway. I want to have like a little logo right up there in the corner by Kim that is something messed up with their duck. I don't know exactly what.
Can you do that? Or would that be
Sure.
like a copyright infringement something?
It just has to look like we can't take their duck. But their duck is awful.
Can we take Jason's duck and do something with Jason's duck?
If nothing else, we can promote it. So you guys, if you're not familiar, Jason on his channel, the Gig Economy Podcast, if you're ever in the car so much that you need to go to the bathroom and relieve yourself, there is a duck that looks exactly like the StreamYard duck that you twist off the head and you pee in it, and you twist the head back on. And there's a link on his page for you guys can get it for some. I don't even know if you have to. I think you have to pay for it. Obviously, you have to pay for it. But yeah. It looks just like the StreamYard duck. We made a joke about it. But Kim, I was just catching Cheyenne up. So Tom's out. His wife broke her ankle.
Oh, no.
His friend has cancer. He has 103-degree temperature. One of Michelle's best friends got served with divorce papers, so they're having some drinks.
Oh.
It's 2022 is all roses, baby.
Is it like I hate
2022
type of drinks?
Did you just say 2022?
Yeah. Is it 2020, 2025?
I think you're a couple of years off there, buddy.
Is it? Wait, is it? Yeah, it's 2025.
Honestly, 2025 has been crazy. I saw this one TikTok that said, we're 14 days in and I've completed my 2-week trial and I would like to return it. Because it's true. Like, it's crazy what's been going on for the past, now 16 days.
Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't really. I mean, I think all of us were expecting something big to change. Maybe it'll just take a little bit to kick in, but it just feels like 2024 continued.
With more disasters, though.
Right. Oh, yeah. 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 So next week on the roundtable, it was almost going to be tonight, and it probably would have been a great night for it. But next week on the roundtable, Stephanie Vigil is going to join us. You
Oh,
guys
I
know
love
who's Stephanie? Yeah. So we're going to talk with her about this new stupid law, or the challenge that Uber's doing. We'll run through a little bit of it tonight, but probably going to be a little short and sweet tonight. Although I do want to mention some things on DoorDash that really are pissing me off, and pissing a lot of other people off too. But first and foremost, I had this pulled up. So on the FTC's website, this is from yesterday. FTC issues policy statement clarifying that independent contractors, gig workers, organizing activities are shielded from antitrust liability. So what's going on here is the Federal Trade Commission today issued a policy clarifying that independent contractors, including gig workers, are shielded from antitrust liability when engaged in protected bargaining and organizing activities, such as seeking better compensation and job conditions. According to the FTC's policy, the commission will not challenge collective action by independent contractors and gig workers, which includes rideshare and food delivery drivers that provides labor services and seeking better compensation and job conditions, because such activities are exempted under antitrust statutes. If that was a little confusing, let me break this down for you. The FTC has issued a statement on their site that they're not going to enforce the policies of the FTC.
What?
That's what it is. They're saying that because you're not
makes no
allowed to
sense.
collectively bargain as an independent contractor. And they're saying, well, we're not gonna challenge anybody's doing that. That's your job.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I am literally like, you got to be kidding me.
That
You
is
know?
what they're there for.
Huh? Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, I'm not saying it's, look, I mean, things need to be twisted and tweaked around. These are getting to be like way too crazy that government websites, you can go to them. And in this article, and it's in the private chat, we can share it with you guys because you guys should, if you want to read it. It's the FTC's website. But it, here, I'll just put it out for everybody. I hope that fits. I don't know if that'll fit.
It looks like it.
Posted kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, it didn't do the whole.
Oh, it didn't take the whole link.
It did it in like 2 comments.
Yeah. Anyway, that article, you can also just Google that article right there, exactly how it's spelled out. But that article, it's got this whole breakdown on it. It's basically saying that, hey, this is our job to enforce this. We don't like how many people we're hearing from that are going to go do this because we would have to enforce it. So we're not going to enforce it. That's how I read it. And yeah, Christopher Taylor, thank you as always. Thank you across the board for all of us. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. So now you can collectively bargain in the gig economy, and the FTC won't do anything about it. However, that might change on Monday when the new administration comes in. Who knows?
Just real quick, I just want to address this real quick because this isn't the first time I've heard this week. Is with Uber, they're now going through I feel like it's another purge that they're telling even Uber Eats drivers that their cars are too old. Like, it's not the first time I've heard this.
At what year?
He said
They've done that
2007. But that's not the first time.
They're saying that Mr. 1609 said that he has a 2007, but I mean, are they even asking for higher? What are they asking for?
I don't know.
Does anybody know?
But that's not the first person I've heard of this week that's gotten that. But I thought that was right for like rideshare. Like, I thought with Uber Eats, you didn't have to have a certain year. I thought rideshare you did, but I didn't think Uber Eats you did.
Yeah, I thought it was just rideshare as well.
I mean, it was, but It's like this FTC
Oh.
thing. There's nothing that stops them from changing it.
Well,
Yeah.
there's an article from 2022 that says that it's a 20-year limit.
Well, but a 2007 would still qualify.
Would still qualify, yeah.
Yeah, so they're changing something. I mean, and the gall on Uber. We'll get to the Uber thing, even though we're not gonna dive in until Stephanie's here next week. If you guys don't know Stephanie, she's great. I don't see eye to eye with her on all political things, but what we'll talk about here with her, we totally see eye to eye. And she was the one who sent me the lawsuit from Friday. They even say in the article that it was filed on Saturday morning. She sent it to me Friday night. She said this is gonna be filed tomorrow morning.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I was sitting there reading and going, what the hell? Because Uber is just wow. Yeah. I mean, we might as well jump into that for a second because I'll read the short version article that we do have, and I do have up on the website too here. This is again for all of you guys. If you want to read the lawsuit, is this the one? Yeah, this is the actual lawsuit. So this is it in full. The whole thing is there, all 51 pages, which basically all come down to transparency. So what is going on here? So, oh no, I just put the wrong one, I think. I might have just put the article, but if I did,
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's saying he only does Uber Eats. They don't do rideshare. Like you said, unless they decided to change it.
Look, guys, pretty soon here, hoopty rides will be in full swing, and you guys can use whatever vehicle you want.
But for food delivery too.
Of course. I mean, it doesn't even need to have wheels. Whatever you want to do, like
Wow.
that's what Hoopty is all about. You know, it's about finding your lane and making some money. Here's the short version of the lawsuit, just so you guys are aware, because I've had a lot of people ask me this week. I talked about it on the podcast, and I tried breaking it down quickly because it's 50. There's 72 points in a 51-page lawsuit that's just regarding transparency. But here's the short version. Uber Technologies has filed a lawsuit claiming that a novel Colorado law requiring transportation services to disclose certain information to drivers at the end of a trip violates its free speech right under the U.S. Constitution.
Free speech.
And here's why. This gets really stupid. It's like part 5 where it gets to the free speech stuff. Really, they're trying to just, and that's why Stephanie's going to be here with us next week, because she was like losing her cool about this.
Straws, like free speech. Really, that's what they're going after?
Well, they're going after free speech because at the end of a ride, they have to provide the breakdown to both sides, and they won't do it yet. They haven't done it yet here. They're not participating in the law yet, but the law isn't effective till February 1st. Like DoorDash is already practicing it, but DoorDash isn't sending me the breakdown after the fact that shows me how much the customer paid. And they're going to have to do that on February 1st.
So what's
right now
the
they
fine
have to
if
show
they
me
don't?
what's a tip, what's total, but they don't have to till February 1st. They don't have to show me what the customer paid, what each line item was. Then they have
Do
to
you
show me
know-
all that.
Do you know what the consequences is if Uber just says, nope, I'm not doing it? Is there like a consequence?
$1,000 per instance on each side, because they'll pull they're going to pull receipts from customer side and driver side, and that's how they're going to audit. So they're going to deal with the algorithm.
$1,000 per instance?
Per instance on each side. So driver and customer is $2,000 per delivery.
Wow.
Is the fine. So what they've said
with that
is in this lawsuit, they're saying, listen, we're not going to do this. But here, it's kind of an inverted California law one, because remember in California, it was wait till the midnight hour on Prop 22 to be able to have it voted on. And they were like, listen, we can't afford to lose you. You got to stay. In Seattle, same thing, same tactics, and you got to stay. Here, it's like, well, we're following this lawsuit, and it's kind of actually a little comical, but at the same time not. But they were like, they're I can see they're trying to pull that move. And here the the group that's mainly behind all the battles with them about this is the drivers co-op, which I'm not fully yet sold on. Stephanie Vihill we'll talk about that with us next week a little more, but it is a little unionish. However, they're all over them, and their response was bye. Like, it's the other way around. Usually it's the state begging, and now it's them filing a lawsuit against us, against a law that went into place 18 months ago and is now getting enacted. It went and then it passed everything. It was actually signed in 7 months ago, and now it's going into effect. They've known this for a long time, and they're not getting the normal please stay, please stay. They're getting a see you later, get the hell out.
Wow.
I guess this is more for a question for Stephanie next week is, did they like kind of already think that something like this was happening when they were trying to push the law through? Like, were they preempting Uber coming back with a lawsuit when this came through?
No. When she sent this to me, I don't have the text here. When she sent this to me, or the email, her email that had it attached, just I've never seen her swear so much. Number one, Stephanie probably typed out about 15 swears in a 4-paragraph email.
Go, Stephanie.
I mean, she was just like the shit company and their shit lawsuit, and so it was just one after the other. But I got it. I mean, she's pissed. She's like, all this is just trash. So when it's talking about freedom of speech, here's what they're talking about. So for whatever reason, this law dictates that the font size has to be a certain font, or it has to be a certain size. No matter what font the apps are using, they have to come out to the same size. And the font that Uber uses has to be 1.5 times its size. And they're saying that infringes on their free speech.
What?
So here's my point. If they win that, if Uber were to win this, we all know what they'll do the first day. They'll take the font to half the size it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, winning this could be really scary because it could give them all. I mean, it's going to give them all the power if they win this stupid lawsuit. But it does say that Uber, in a complaint filed in federal court on Saturday, said the law, which takes effect February 1st, is designed to spread inaccurate information and quote unquote shame the company and its competitors into changing their practices.
Well, gee, isn't it a shame that they're not transparent with their customers and their drivers? I'm just
Right.
saying.
And their merchants, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody involved is I mean, how dare you shame us into being honest?
If they weren't shady, they wouldn't be putting in this lawsuit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they weren't shady, they'd be like, okay, here's everything I have. Oh, well, it is what it is. They wouldn't be trying to fight for their right to hide more information. Like, to me, it makes them look even more guilty.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're hoping that this kind of gets all dealt with and they can pay some fines and not have to do this, and that hopefully a lot of people don't read this stuff. But among other requirements, the law mandates transportation network companies like Uber and Lyft disclose to drivers the total amount of the passenger paid for a trip, the share paid to the driver, and specifically a line item for any amount of tips, since so much tip theft has gone on.
Surprised DoorDash hasn't gotten on this bandwagon.
DoorDash is on this.
Are they?
They have to. Yeah, they have to be. There's a TNC and a DNC, and the DNC is the delivery network companies. So the DNC is under the same thing, but they're already practicing it here. Like whatever. So I was trying to say this last week. Whatever a DoorDash order comes through as, it now has the total, and then it has the tip next to it, and it can't change. It cannot change. There's no more dynamic, nothing. You can't, there's not going to be a hidden tip. There's nothing anymore. It's just straight up pricing. So the information must be provided immediately on a single screen in a font that is 1.5 times the size of the current font. The law is the
I
first of its kind in the country and represents the latest effort in a decade-long campaign to extend many of the legal rights granted to companies' employees to drivers of app-based services and other gig workers who are typically treated as independent contractors. But Uber says, without more context, such an accounting for tolls and insurance paid by the company, the information it must disclose under Colorado's law could be misleading. These are what they're saying in public. Like, I'm blown away. Like, this is what you're saying in public. You're saying that, listen, we don't want people to be misled by the truth. If we show them full transparency, they'll know the truth, and we don't want to be misleading.
That's so crazy.
You know, at the bottom, the disclosure requirement is a veiled attempt at shaming Uber and similarly situated companies into changing its fees and causing unnecessary uproar and inaccurate data, Uber says in the lawsuit.
But can we give credit though to the lawyers of Uber? Uber executives, Dara's probably like, okay guys, we need to find a loophole behind this. Like, what do we got? And the lawyer's like, what can we do? What we can do? Oh, I know, fonts. That's an easy one.
But it's because they
Like,
said the font. It's because the state of Colorado said the font needs to be 1.5 times the size.
But that's my point. Like, what can we do?
And they're saying freedom of speech. You're infringing on my freedom of speech because it's my freedom of speech to not give a big font.
Like, does anybody find that ridiculous? Like, I absolutely find that
That is so
hilariously
crazy.
ridiculous.
So, and then it gets crazier. So Uber is suing the Department of Labor and Employment, makes sense, the state of Colorado, but they're separately suing Jared Polis, our governor.
Like, personally?
Separately? Why separately?
Well, here's the thing. DoorDash and Uber are supporters of Polis, and they're now suing him.
Interesting.
This is all like, it's guys, I guess I could go to ChatGPT and make stuff up like this, but it sounds made up.
Can you imagine
But
the lawyers?
Uber also filed a motion for a temporary restraining order that would block the disclosure requirements from taking effect until the case plays out.
But can you imagine the lawyers, like, they're stumped? What can we get? Oh, I know. Let's go to ChatGPT and let's see what they say. What can we get on this lawsuit?
Oh my goodness.
What ChatGPT says.
So it says the lawsuit claims that Colorado's law violates Uber's rights to free speech and free association under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The law also requires companies to disclose their policies for terminating or deactivating drivers and for reconsidering those deactivations, meaning some kind of system that would allow you to understand why you were deactivated and challenge it. They must disclose the fare, distance, and type of trips to the drivers before they accept the rides. It also requires companies to disclose certain aggregate information to the state, such as total miles driven and data about deactivating drivers. Uber is not having this, and they are suing everybody.
They're suing everybody because people are suing them. Right? Like, don't you feel like they're suing everybody because now all these states are suing them for missing tips? So, hey, we have to get our money back somehow. We might as well sue everybody else since people are suing us. It's like one big sue-happy interaction going on.
I love the part that says that they've also filed a separate motion for a temporary restraining order.
Yeah, that's the part that I don't understand.
They want a restraining order from having to be transparent.
Which is so crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Listen, until all this plays out, we don't want to be transparent. It's not to our best interest to be transparent with you guys.
And let's
it's like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum, except it's Uber throwing a temper tantrum over transparency.
I mean, I don't know, guys. You literally can't make this up. I mean, we've been Remember when Gary and I always used to say that we really need one state just to finally pull the trigger and kick them out? Like, I know what's happened in Austin, but just straight up do it. It's funny now that they're like on the verge of getting kicked out, and they're like, well, we'll just sue you. It's like, I thought you guys were like all ready to pack up and leave all these states. Like, now you're all concerned. I mean, I got to tell you, they're really struggling on this transparency thing. This is a big deal to them.
Well, because it's big, because they hide so many things. And the fact that there's going to be like checks on both sides, this kind of just goes to show, as Kim always says, we have to trust that they're really paying out what the customer paid. But now there is no more trust. There's going to be verification that's done.
Right.
Obviously, if they want to hide something, they don't want this coming out.
I think
they've even went as far. Yeah, they've went as far as to say that, like, I mean, part of this lawsuit is like saying how they were breaking down some of the rideshare stuff, and they were saying, well, see, it would appear, and they have these. There's actually some diagrams in the lawsuit, and there's this one that shows a full 3-screen scrolling breakdown of everything, and it says, see here, it would appear this guy's going to pay $23 for a ride. The driver's only going to get $5.46, but what they don't understand is that we have to pay for insurance and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, we have to pay for insurance and taxes. So don't like cry and whine about your business model to us. You know, like, make money or don't. That's up to you guys, but make money legally.
I think there are more I don't know whether intimidated or scared is the right word, that if this works in Colorado, then how much will people adapt to doing it in other places? And therefore they have to even be more transparent in more places. And then they have to be a transparent company. I think they're more scared of that and like them hiding all the stuff that they're hiding. Like, doesn't it make you wonder, like, how much they're really hiding besides money?
Yeah.
Like, how much are they really hiding from everybody?
For sure. This definitely sets a precedent, and they are scared that it's going to come out.
I don't know what
Which
Christopher's question was last week.
Maybe it's this one.
Is
I'm not. Is it that one, Christopher?
No, because that was above. No, we didn't even have. There was not even one this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, don't hold me to it, but I think that's done. Just, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that's happening anymore.
I don't understand this one here. Mr. 1609 at 928, if someone could pop that up. I have a question. Do you think that gig jobs need a third-party hiring company because they seem to call innocent drivers their jobs? I don't understand. I don't know if they can explain that one a little bit more, or maybe if you guys understand it.
Which one is it?
At 9:20, yeah.
You know, no. What I think, well, I mean, all I'm thinking of right away is Fresno Logistics and like Austin One and stuff that are paying people whatever it is in Austin, $12 an hour to use your own car and do the apps, and you're a W-2 worker at that point, and you have to delete your independent contractor account with the apps and then work through this company as a scheduled job for $12 an hour using your car.
No desire.
Yeah, no desire at all. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but no, like, I don't think any of us want to see that. That's not good for business. Because that's the business of all of us would probably be doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't do this and use my car if I had to go in and get a schedule and have somebody yell at me for $12 an hour. I got better things to do. But so Michelle was going to talk about this article about this person who's been this manager who has been stealing from Panera. We know, and it's not the same Panera story. There's weed dashing that's coming up. Again, another thing, by the way, that guys, when it does, it's not legal. It's not legal. I've been asking around here too. Every dispensary in Colorado has been trying to deliver since they opened 15 years ago. And There is no way it can happen. DoorDash is going to slip some money in some pockets here and there, and it's still going to be against the law and against federal law. It's like Uber Connect, Uber Teen.
But from what I read, I mean, I did a video on it this past week. It's not cannabis itself; it's cannabis products. So it's like gummies and I forget
But that's
what
cannabis.
it was. I know, but it's not like it's
Yeah, it
cannabis
still has
products.
THC in it. So
It
Yeah,
has THC.
yeah.
It's cannabis
But
products. It's not really
so for you guys,
cannabis.
so is it illegal in the States
Some states
To
it is. Some
deliver.
states it is.
to deliver?
To deliver, it is.
To deliver
because
it is
because the
illegal.
federal government, it's still illegal federal. So in
Oh.
every state, it's illegal. However, state laws have been making their own laws for about 15 years.
Yeah, I
Okay.
forget. It's 5 different products that they're doing. It was gummies, it was some kind of sticks, it was something else. It was like 5 different products, but it's stuff that you would actually find at like Total Wines and stuff like that. And you can also get it through Dash Mart, but you had to be of legal age, kind of like alcohol delivery.
I saw that it was going to involve Dash Mart. Like I have
Yeah.
a Dash Mart in my zone, so I know.
But no, it's not actual cannabis yet.
You
It's
guys can
literally
get like THC products at Total Wines and like your regular
No,
liquor store?
I can't. That's why I'm very confused. So
I don't
what I read was that they're talking about moving it over to Dash Mart. Like they'll go get it, move it to Dash Mart, and then they'll sell it out of there.
Interesting.
Again, I don't know. You guys do what you
Because it's
want.
legal. over here,
I mean,
but
I
we
sent it
have
over to Miko.
federal-
It's funny.
but it,
Miko's
once
in the chat.
again,
I
it's
sent it over to
only-
Miko, and she's like, "Now we're drug dealers."
It's not.
Yeah,
not.
because seriously.
we're not delivering cannabis itself. We're doing the products that have CBD in it.
Yeah.
That's delivering weed.
Yeah, that's still, yeah.
I mean, if it's gummies, it's gummies. You still get high off them. You can't. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to drive motor vehicles or operate farm equipment.
That is true.
Farm equipment, really? That's where you're going?
I think it just says heavy equipment. I don't think it says farm equipment.
Okay.
You can tell
Well,
you're from Colorado.
I don't think
I
you
know, right?
Well, you probably shouldn't like go plow a field though or anything. That's heavy
Oh,
equipment.
that's
Like, are
interesting.
you
So
out of farm
they
equipment?
want you to deliver it. Okay.
But it's in
I mean,
states
you guys
that are
allow it, don't you?
Okay, so for us, it's not illegal, but it's only at so our liquor stores are federal. It's called the SAQ. It's run by the government. And we have the something DQ or something or the other, and that's for THC products, but that's federally run as well. I didn't realize that they want people to deliver it. Interesting.
Well, in Toronto, they're letting people deliver it.
Are they?
I mean, yeah, right out of Uber.
Really?
Uber- it's like Uber Weed. I think it's even called Uber Weed.
I didn't know that. I would find that very weird. Oh.
But so here's my 4 major points about DoorDash this week. Here's the 4 big ones right now that are sitting that I've either heard from other people, I'm throwing out there, big things coming against them, whatever. Senators versus DoorDash is huge. We're gonna be hearing about it over the next month. DoorDash, and I just alerted somebody here to this and Stephanie because this is something else that needs to be brought up. DoorDash has a delivery timestamp on you, but at the same time, like you guys all know this, but I've been doing more DoorDash lately, so I've been seeing this every time. So I have to get a delivery to a certain place by a certain time, or else it has a metric of my arrival time, right? But at the same time, at the end of a dash, I get analytics.
Yeah.
You can't judge me on my speed and my braking if you're going to make me be somewhere by a certain time.
You still have yours turned on?
Well, it doesn't matter if you turn it off. You just don't see it.
Kim's
You
like,
can't
still have
turn it
that on.
off. You can't turn it off.
Yes, you
You
can.
you can turn off the display to you.
Right. Why would you even
Yeah.
look at it?
Because I want to see what they're thinking about me, and I'm taking screenshots for when they go down so I can laugh. But
No, mine was
investors,
turned off like as soon as it came out. Mine got turned
Me
off
too.
right away. I'm like, why am I even looking at this? I live
you
in
know,
New
Yeah.
Jersey.
in all honesty, some days mine are bad, but most of the time they're pretty good. Actually, I'm pretty surprised, and it must just be. I'm wondering if they even just are just like, let's just lie and say everybody drives really good.
It's actually really annoying. And then Uber has it like on the screen, like when you're going too fast. I didn't ask you to track everything for me.
Yeah.
No.
No, and I my point is you can't have a. It gets to like that Domino's delivery time where they were sued and couldn't do that anymore, like back in the day where it was like if it's 30 minutes or free. So you had drivers like going through lights and creating accidents. So, but you have investors now, same thing as Uber. You have investors on the DoorDash side saying that they want proof on the full-time DoorDash drivers. Because look, autonomous is a joke. It's not coming, especially for delivery, no time soon. And they want proof that Dashers can make a living wage because if they can't, then investors can't make money. That's their new thing, which is pretty big. It makes a lot of sense. And then I have a new partner in the battle for transparency. And this one's a big one, you guys. I don't know why this never came about before, but I was speaking with Stephanie. I said, why couldn't I do this? We'll talk about it next week. But I'm getting connected with the American Disability Act here because that should be the nail in the coffin for transparency. Because they're not allowed to ask if you have a disability, and yet if you have a disability, you have to know if it's an apartment complex or what it is. You have to know this. It has to be transparent. So under the ADA, they have to follow that standard. They're not. So in every state, and that's kind of the next step too, is to see what that can do. So there's a lot of bad coming down at all these people, but I think it's interesting how DoorDash is starting to follow it. And they're already like Tony and I were talking about this. They're already showing you your tip and your base pay. And they're saying, okay, here it is, but they're not sending you that last screen yet, but they're showing the customers too. Like this is what your driver's paid. So they're already seeing that. So that's all good, but will DoorDash continue to do it? The other thing is about if Uber loses this lawsuit and leaves the state of Colorado, they leave DoorDash. I mean, they're still Grubhub, but they leave DoorDash in a monopoly. Like DoorDash would just have this market. So that's something that that's always a problem. And they don't, that's always something the government's trying to prevent too. So who knows? I'm concerned. Stephanie was hella pissed. I saw somebody had said in there maybe it was Derek said he wanted to see what she wrote. I'm happy to put up what she wrote, or we'll talk. I'll just read it next week when she's here. But
by the way, for the cannabis, I was looking into it. And yeah, they've been in Ontario since 2022. They're in Alberta since July of 2024, and they're going over to BC. However, it's not Uber Eats drivers or Uber drivers that are delivering it. You order through the Uber app, but it's the delivery driver from whatever location that you're getting it that delivers it.
Oh, so they have to have their own delivery drivers.
They have to have their own delivery drivers.
See, that's what I know that here in Colorado, that's what they've been battling for too, is that they'd rather have their own. They don't want Uber and DoorDash to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always thought this would start with the medical side of things too. I didn't really think it would be, I didn't think they would just go for the whole thing at once, but whatever. To me, it's just, this is getting so ridiculous. But I mean, I have a feeling this year is going to be really crazy. By the way, anybody who does rideshare, I got to say this, in New York City, your deadline's coming up. January 31st is the deadline to get in on the claim share of $328 million. If you did rideshare in New York City between 2014 and 2018, you are owed a portion of that. Only 88,000 people have signed into that against a $328 million settlement. So you guys do the math. That's real money.
Go get yourself in that.
They were all of the drivers for those 4 years were being charged the taxes for themselves and for the passengers, and Uber was passing it along to the drivers, and Uber was taking the tax credits.
Wow.
Wow.
You guys, every time I read this stuff, I'm just like, I mean, you know, you're breaking the law when you do that. They're not going, you know, like, well, oh, we missed that. They didn't miss it. They saw it. And they decided to do it anyway. And I guess I just point that out because this is how far out of whack things have got. I mean, what can you say about it? I did have this sent to me. I wanted to show you guys this. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Wow.
What the fuck?
That's a slogan for you.
Wow.
Failed your driver's test? Well, come get in our cars where it's totally dangerous.
Because that's totally better.
Right. And then had this. Anybody seen 1157 on eggs?
No.
That's crazy.
Fun. That's awesome. And then this was a good reply to the thing about the DoorDash deactivations that are happening from if you're getting tipped too much from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good reply. And I honestly say it is because I agree with this person that obviously what DoorDash is thinking is that you're scamming with the customer to say, hey, like you tip me and then pull your tip back. But we all know they have the ability to say don't pair those two. So why are they deactivating you? Again, it's like it's their stupid system. So if somebody finds a little thing, plus how does the person know he's going to get you as a driver? I don't know. To me, it really is crap. Like I mean, I guess they can't because Kim put a thing out against a person and she got that person again.
Yeah.
So I mean, even though they have that ability, obviously they don't use it. So, but I mean, that's, I guess, what they're saying, because I didn't really first get it. Why do they care that you're cashing your tip out so quick? I thought that was the perk of the DoorDash platform, was that unlike Uber Eats, you're not waiting 2 hours to see if you get tip baited. You just get it. And so now they're saying, well, you're pulling it out too quick. And then if they pull it back. And so that thing about deactivations was, well, you're getting too many times of the same person pulling their tips back. Well, they don't warn you until it happens. So.
That is kind of sketchy though, if it's the same person.
Kim, so yeah, I've been doing more DoorDash. I see what's going on here. I was talking to Tony about it. Is DoorDash still good?
For me, it is.
I mean, for a lot of people, it is. Here's the thing. I don't think for a ton of people it is anymore, though. But I think for some it is. And I'm trying to get a lot, like everybody in the chat. Are you doing well in DoorDash on 2025?
So far, like I said, I am. But it's January, right? I feel like January is a tough month to judge anything.
Sure.
So to me, January forever, ever since I started working these apps, I call it multi-apping month, right? You grab the money where you can grab it from. So, it's been Instacart, it's been DoorDash, it's been, Uber Eats, it's been Grubhub. It's literally been a lot of apps I've been working over the past couple of weeks. But no, DoorDash still the same. Hasn't changed.
I'm laughing.
No.
That's exactly what I was laughing at.
No. It's my vote. In fact, not at all. I thought we just described that pretty clearly. I mean, in fact, they're suing the state to say, listen, we don't want to be transparent with our customers and our merchants and our drivers. Look, we'd rather just run this non-transparent scam business that we have. Can't you just turn your cheeks over there? But yeah, I don't know. This is what we're going through here. Seeing the full transparency is kind of interesting. I've been saying I'm not seeing as many offers, but I've been saying everything has been $2 a mile at least. I've only seen one offer that hasn't been. And then all of this week, I haven't seen any offers that aren't $3 a mile. I just don't see many.
Wow. What are you at now? What's your percentage?
37.
You're at 37. You're at 32 last week. Look at you.
By the way, I know
You're
I
climbing
actually
that
need,
DoorDash ladder right there.
I actually need to say something. I sent something to Kim that said I was at 34% on Friday or something. Kim has never responded to me faster. I sent her a text saying, "Look, I'm coming for you," and I sent her my 34%, and she responded with laughing emojis within 5 seconds. It was the fastest response I've ever seen.
You're
But
like,
I mean,
why are you
you
laughing
guys,
at
that's
me?
pretty huge for me. Like,
That's pretty good.
and that's not, but again, I'm not playing the game. I'm just taking offers because they pay $3 a mile. They're just few and far between.
That's awesome.
You know, so I'm not playing, I'm not doing it to try and get up there. I'm doing it because when they do send an offer, it's decent. There just aren't many offers. You know, and Tony told me that, you know, first of all, the Drivens have 2 accounts. Let's just keep it simple with that. So he sees it 2 different ways, as a platinum, as well as the other account isn't. And he's seeing what I'm seeing with the other account, that okay, these are some decent orders, not great. And then with the upper tier one, he's seeing like the better orders, but also the worst of the worst offers. So to keep that 80, what is it, 70, 80%? 70?
Depends on your area.
Is it 70 is the most, though?
My area is 70,
Mine's a
but there's
70.
other
Okay.
areas that are 80.
There are? Wow. Okay, well, so if it's 70, to keep that rolling 70, like he said today, like I was watching him on a live stream, and he had to take an offer because it's rolling to be able to keep, because he was right there at that number, and he took it and he went to the restaurant and just let it time out. And I was like, well, why'd you take it? He goes, because if I hadn't, I'd have fallen at 1 under and I would have lost my status.
Oh no.
He's like, cold
would've been
food, and I'm not
gold.
bringing it. I
Oh,
mean, this is
no.
just, I mean, they're encouraging bad behavior is what they're doing. That's how I see it. I'm not a big person for all of these different metrics, but I do not believe it should be a rolling real-time thing. I mean, I know that you guys used to hate having your end of month run for the percentage, but at least that seemed a little more stable than this.
Well, it wasn't really stable on DoorDash's end because that last week is when everybody kind of went crazy, but all the other times they were cherry picking.
Right.
So they were bringing their stats back down and then going back up. So for DoorDash to forecast, you know, how many orders are going to be delivered and all that kind of stuff, all those cheap customers that order week 1 to 3, they're not getting their orders. Whereas right now they're getting them. So it makes sense on their end to have it as a roll-in.
I mean, Kim, what's your take on the rolling thing? I didn't know it was that real a time. Like Tony was making it sound like if he dipped under, he wasn't going to be able to get back up. I'm like, it's just 1%. And he was making it sound like, yeah, but I won't get it. They're going to make it really hard.
They do make it hard. I'm not going to lie. They do make it. I guess, I've been maintaining for, 2 years now. So, like, I don't even think anything of it anymore. Like, I know where I stand almost at all times. So I know when a crap order comes and decline, because that's what I save my declines for. But I guess I'm just so used to it at this point. I don't know. I guess if you're used to working the app the way you're used to working it, it doesn't faze me any longer.
Right. Because it's right. And for you, I think of it different. It's not, you're not playing their game. You're doing what you do. You have a way that you do it.
Yeah.
And it just works.
It does work. And I say this all the time too. If there is a time that, and there are times that DoorDash sends you like a crap order and then they send you another crap order and you're like, okay, decline. After that, like I just turn DoorDash off because I don't want to be bothered with them. And then I go on to working Instacart or Uber Eats or like, that's why I have so many apps. Like I'm not just stuck working DoorDash. Like if I get tired of them, you know what? It's time to move on and go make my money somewhere else. So I multi-app. That's the only thing I keep saying.
So are you kind of saying that like you feel like it gets on a roll? Like, okay, they're playing with me right now.
Oh, the
They're just letting
algorithm
me dab
definitely plays
off.
with you. They and lately, and it's been probably like this for maybe a month now, like they're going to send you a crap order until you take a crap order because they know you're trying to maintain a certain level. And it seems like the lower you get and they know you're at that level, they're going to send you a crap order knowing that you're going to have to take it in order to maintain what you have to do. When that happens, literally, I turn it off and move on to like another app because I know it's a game that they play. They're good at playing algorithm games. They're good at that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's why they're hating this new transparency game.
You just need to know how to play the game that they're playing in order to make it work for you. I don't know how else to describe it, but once you learn what the game that they're playing is, you can work around it so it works towards your benefit.
Right. In many markets.
Yeah.
In some markets not. I mean, I know some people who have been doing this as long as anybody, and they say that in their market it's just not possible anymore. And maybe at the time that is the case. Maybe that'll change here soon. Maybe, if you have illegals, and I'm not talking about anything to do with citizenship. This is just anybody using an illegal account. Those are starting to be cracked down on. I have not had a facial recognition, but supposedly they're happening a ton. I don't know. So, hey, Holly. Holly says that she can schedule a week out. So that's how it used to be for me. I could schedule like 2 hours here or there a week out. And that's what I used to do on Friday nights was do a live stream and do 2 hours because I could only get a 2 hour block. But I didn't care. I was just trying to keep my active on the app. I don't count on the app on that one for money. So, but now I can schedule 12-hour shifts every day because of the new transparency rule. So it's really weird. It's very weird. I think they're also going through losing a lot of the illegal accounts around here. Not completely yet, but it's starting to happen for sure. Even the restaurant owners are starting to be very upset about all of this. But do we have anything else for the week? Because next week, you guys, we have Stephanie V. Hill. If you don't know Stephanie, again, like I said, I don't agree with her on all politics. Stephanie and I have been friends for a long time. Kim's met her. She's a great person. She fought for the law that is in place here now. But on this, we see a lot of eye to eye, and we're always bouncing things off each other. And she was pissed. She's pissed about this lawsuit. I don't really know what's going to happen with it. Supposedly, come February 1st, Uber is not going to participate in the law. They're asking for a stay while the court case happens. I don't know. Our state is really weird. You can never call how things are going to be handled, but they did file it in Colorado. It's in our upper courts. It's not something that's just low-hanging fruit. And so it's going to be dealt with. It's probably going to take a little bit to get through it. I'm guessing Uber's going to do their normal thing and just not follow it.
They'll just wait for the
They asked for the stay. If they don't get it, I'm still guessing they're just not going to follow it. I mean, that's just me. I don't know. But this is just a week of crazy random stuff. Like this FTC thing. That's a bigger thing than maybe some of you guys realize too. Like that's a really crazy thing. For all the independent contractor stuff I file that I'm always like researching, this is really crazy that they're just going, you know what? These rules we have, you don't have to follow them anymore. We're not gonna come after you if you do these two major things that break our rules. We're not gonna come after you because we understand. It's kind of the word from the FTC. So I think a lot of stuff's about to go down. I know that a lot of states are about to have some changes. And like Kim said, I know a lot of states are really interested in what happens here. They're not so interested anymore looking at Prop 22 or other failed systems that just haven't worked. They're really interested in this transparency thing. And why is it pissing the companies off?
Because it's big.
Yeah. I have something. I know we touched on it a little bit last week, but shout out for Christopher Taylor who sent it to us. But I'll call him a kid because I think he was in his 20s. The one who did the $1 million scam, and then he ended up getting killed. Like, what was it, a day or a couple days before his trial?
I think it was the day before.
It was like the day before, right?
Yeah.
But he did the scam in Connecticut, but he was in New York when he got killed or something. I don't know. I couldn't
whole
tell
thing
if it
is
was
just
like
very
completely unrelated or if they're related. Like I couldn't just tell if this guy's just maybe a criminal in like such a way where it's other things. Maybe he got killed for something completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It just didn't like why would he get killed for that a year later?
I don't
The
know.
day before court. Like if you're any part of that, you're gonna want to see him get his justice. And
I feel like I was putting on like my Law and Order hat, like trying to figure out because the article itself was like so vague, and I'm like, wow, who did he tick off? And then I'm thinking, wow, I wonder if they're trying to like hush, hush, hush type of thing. I'm like, am I watching too much Law and Order lately?
Never.
well, but who would be hushing him though?
I don't know.
Because he got caught stealing from other criminals. He got caught
but
stealing from DoorDash.
Maybe his ways would come out during like testimony or whatever.
I thought when we talked about it last year, they were pretty open about what he had been doing. I'd have to go back and look, but I thought that article was pretty open about. They were pretty like, here's what he did.
Oh, it definitely was. I mean, to me, when he got caught, he was like the world's dumbest criminal because he got caught because of a domestic dispute, and they went to his house and found like all this stuff that that revealed the whole scam. So I'm like, okay, world's dumbest criminal right there. You just got caught over something stupid.
Yeah.
So Christopher Taylor brings up something here. He's saying that they're cracking down on drivers using handicap spots. I'm sorry.
In your
I
hometown?
don't think people should be parking in handicap spots if they're not handicapped. Like, I don't care if you're running into the restaurant to pick up something. You could be running into the restaurant and they're like, oh, it's not ready yet. Then what? Someone that's actually handicapped and needs a spot comes and now they can't park because your car is there? Like, that's fine. I'm totally okay with that.
Oh, I am too. And the other thing is here, you have to have a front and a back license plate in Colorado. You don't in every state. I don't know if you guys, whatever state you live in. Okay, New Jersey, you do too. A lot of states you do, but in a lot of states, you just have to have a back one. So some of these people who have paper plates or expired tags, they go to these restaurants where they're waiting to get a DoorDash or an Uber Eats, and they take their paper expired 3-year-old expired tag and they back it into the bush in a handicap spot.
Wow.
So that you would have to go dig it out of a bush to write them a ticket. And it's going to be a 3-year-old tag.
Wow.
Yeah, just everything's just gotten so like dirt baggy in this country, you know? I mean, I don't know what they would do to people up there who parked in handicap spots, like probably make them pay their taxes or something.
That's your punishment.
You get
pay your taxes.
I know, right? You get an extremely hefty fine. But we don't even have it. It's not like on your license plate or anything like that. It's just like a placard, kind of like a lanyard thing that you just put on your rearview mirror, I think.
Yeah.
And that's it. So if you get stopped and they're like, oh, you need to prove it, you do have a paper that you need to show, because my grandmother had a handicap sticker. So she always had that paper whenever she was going around and was harassed by people wondering why she has a handicap sticker. But just looking at the vehicle, you like Other than that lanyard thing, you don't know.
Yeah, my grandma she had a handicap one back in the day, and the other car they had didn't. But in Michigan, the handicap at that time anyway was on the plate too. So the car that it was registered to, you could go park it anywhere handicap because it had it on the plate, and then the placard she'd just always give out to other people going to the store and stuff. It was weird. I don't want to say that she was part of that system, but she was. Sorry, Grandma, but you were.
Oh my goodness.
But you guys, yeah, next week, don't make sure to join us. Stephanie's going to be a lot of fun because she's pissed, and I'm just kind of more in this like I don't understand what they're doing. Like I've read the whole 51 pages. It's ridiculous. And that's why I put the link in there. Go to uberlyftdrivers.com. It was on the 16th was the date. It was no, it wasn't today. No, it was the 13th. On the 13th, the post on the 13th on uberlyftdrivers.com is the entire lawsuit. So if you guys want to check it out, go check it out. It's definitely worth reading. It's funny. And every section is just it's like them whining. Like Kim said, it's like a baby throwing a temper tantrum. That's how it reads too. You're just like, okay, well, quit crying about it. You knew this was coming. And it's like they're just like, well, we don't want to be transparent. We don't want people to see how much we take. Our pricing model is dynamic, not static. Like, yeah, we know that's called scamming. But I guess that's it for the week, guys. I'm cooked for this week. I've been busting my ass, and I know everybody else up here has too. So, but next week we'll have Stephanie. Hopefully we'll have Tom back. Hopefully we'll have we will have Michelle back, and hopefully we'll all be in a better place. But thank you for joining us tonight.
Hold on. That's a really good. Why do you think they need to be transparent at 10:07?
What? Why do I? Well, because it's law.
Not that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's law here. I mean, we made it a law. And if you're wondering like how that law is going to be looked at, it's like we were talking about. It's going to be audited not by their algorithm anymore. It's by the receipts they give to customers and generate for drivers. They have to match. If they don't match, that's $2,000 on each instance.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big fight here. I mean, DoorDash is kind of playing ball. We'll see on the February 1st what happens. Uber is not. Uber's crying, and they're not doing it. They're just not doing it yet. So, with that said, guys, I think we're going to get out of here, and next week will just be a week of really diving into this law. I'm looking forward to having Stephanie. Oh wait, I did want to show you too this. I think this is funny. I actually think this is really funny. I mean, like it's a default response. Your driver canceled your ride. Andrew saw your tip 81 cents on average and has decided to pursue other opportunities.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Can that happen on DoorDash? That'd be kind of great. Every time like you cancel an order, your driver decided to pursue other opportunities.
You cheapskate.
That is so funny.
I couldn't actually, you know what? For all the crap we're talking about Uber, I'm still not going to give them kudos, but I think it's funny they added that. Because that is a dig at the customer. Usually they try and avoid that stuff. And it's like, hey, and they're putting a number in there. Like, that driver doesn't like getting 81 cents.
Was it Uber or was it DoorDash that first started that whole campaign of if you don't tip, your order might not be delivered?
It's DoorDash.
Oh, it's DoorDash. Okay.
But it will.
Yeah, it will. But, they tried.
If not, they'll just tack it on to add it on as a stack. So
exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, guys, we'll have the whole team back here next week, and we'll have Stephanie. If you guys haven't seen Stephanie before, it'll be fun because she's pretty up in arms about this law, and she was one of the ones that helped all this pass. So it'll be fun to have her on. So until next week, guys, be safe, earn smart, and
Kindness is always free.
yes, it is.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
She was slapping at the tempo, playing fucking